Welcome to Health View. Health View is a production of Rockland Psychiatric Center, which features experts who discuss news and views, issues and concerns, trends and innovations in the field of general and mental health. I'm your host, Don Pasquale. Today we have with us the wife of our last visitor in person. This is Karen Sayegh, who works with Dr. Sayegh out of White Plains, and Karen is an acupuncturist. So she's going to tell us of the health benefits. Why should I get acupuncture? It's up to you, Karen. They tell me why should I get acupuncture, or should I get acupuncture?
Yeah, acupuncture is an awesome tool because what it does is it helps the body to work better. So it can literally be used for
what is it?
Anybody.
Define it first for me. What is acupuncture? Because everybody they hear the term, but what is it? Is it punching a needle, taking a what is it? Scratching an arm, or what is it actually medically?
Yes, so we do use needles, and you put needles in points along the body to help relieve stress and tension and allow the body to work better.
How does that happen?
So you know how your body has a system of nerves, has a system of blood vessels, they go everywhere, right? If everything's flowing properly, things work well.
Right.
So likewise, your body also has, an electromagnetic system. And if there's any injury, stress, anything that can cause a disruption in that system, then you can have symptoms pop up or diseases, things like that. So you use the needles to help clear it up, to free it up.
Now, before you go any further, I never knew that the body has an electromagnetic system. Does everybody, apparently everybody doesn't know that, because we know we have blood circulating, but nobody ever says, you have magnets circulating around your body. So how did you get this information?
You know what? It's been around for over 2,500 years. It's ancient knowledge that's been passed down. It started in China, and it was found to be very useful. It helps people so much. So you can't actually see it with your physical eye, but it's just like...
Well, how do you know you have it? They didn't know in ancient China about... Perhaps they knew about magnets, but they didn't know about electrical systems within the body. So how was that discovered, or how was that brought about, to your knowledge?
You know what? It's even more than just an electrical system, because what it works with is what you were born with, that innate life force that you have inside of you.
Is electromagnetic?
Well, a part of it is electromagnetic, yeah.
Yeah.
And it, like I said, it's not something that you can necessarily see with your eye. It's just like, if you can use an X-ray to take a picture of the inside of your body. You can't see those X-rays, but you know that they're there, right? That actual signal is going in through your body, taking a picture of the bone, right? It's bouncing back, showing you that picture. So likewise, your body has things going on that we can't see, but we know they exist because not only has it helped billions of people, it's primary healthcare in China. Yeah. But it's been around for so long, and the reason it's getting so popular here is because it works.
Well, give me an example of what we know is there, what you know is there, that you can't see, but you can see and treat. What's going on in me that I don't know about, that you know about, is going on in me?
Wait, are you asking me to diagnose you right now?
If you give me a discount, yeah.
No, your body actually speaks to you. It tells you, it gives you signals and signs that things are not exactly the way that they're meant to be. If I were to backtrack a little bit, you were actually made, like, you're this perfection that was made by our Creator. Two cells came together and made a human being. I mean, that is like the most complex, intricate thing that you can ever imagine. No machine has ever been created that's that amazing. And so your body knows exactly what to do to maintain health.
Hold that just for a second, because you gave me an idea.
Okay.
Does every living thing have an electromagnetic? Dogs, fish, everything that lives has these
yes.
systems. Okay, go ahead.
So, and actually in acupuncture they call it your chi, or your life force.
Okay. Right.
Okay. And so it's even more than electromagnetic. It's that the part of you that's keeping you alive. It's this force of life that, plants have it and animals have it.
Plants have it too?
Yeah. Anything that's alive has it. Now, we're more complex, and we're given that gift of a spirit and soul and consciousness.
Yeah.
And so there's so much more to you than, you can make decisions and judgments, and humans are so much more advanced. Mm-hmm. So when you were born, though, you were born with all of this working without you having to think about it, without, you don't have to tell your heart to beat or your intestines to digest things. Right. It just happens naturally because you were born that way and you were made to be healthy. Right. So if you're not healthy, your body starts giving you signs. You might have a little ache or pain, a little stress or tension in some of your muscles, or it could just be that feeling of fatigue at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So many little things. And then people in this country, it's so much worse.
You're saying essentially it's everything. Everything that happens can be ascribed to this electromagnetic system?
To your life force.
To your life force.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if that system of keeping you alive is not working the way that it should, if it gets overused or overstressed, or if you're just not, handling the stresses in your life the way that, so that you're building up more than you're breaking down, then that's how sickness comes. Mm-hmm. So things like acupuncture, it's an awesome tool. It's been around for so long. It helps pretty much every disease. Mm-hmm. It's great for wellness as well. So just to, check in with yourself and see, how am I doing? Am I releasing the tension and stress that I have in my life enough? Because we're not always aware of the things that kind of like those little stresses that insult us throughout the day.
Well,
they build up.
How does a person know, according to what you're saying, then everybody should have should check for do I need acupuncture every day when they get up, right?
Oh my gosh, that's the goal. Mm-hmm. The goal is not just for acupuncture particularly. Yeah. It's for everyone. And that's part of my mission, is for people to check in with themselves and say, how am I doing today? Do I have stresses that I'm letting accumulate, that I'm not handling properly? Mm-hmm. Is my body in a state of building up and working better, or are things breaking down and I'm not feeling the way that I know I can be feeling? Mm-hmm. And that might be one of the issues, is that people don't even know. Mm-hmm. It's like a slow process over time that things kind of decline and get worse. Mm-hmm. And because they're not adapting to what's going on. And so they're not even really aware. They forget how good they're supposed to feel. Mm-hmm. So, the goal is not just to not have diseases and to live a long, healthy life, but to constantly be getting better and better. That's even more amazing and empowering. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. To every day wake up and say, how can I be even better today?
But are you saying that diseases can be cured by acupuncture?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, give me an example.
Oh, name any disease.
Arthritis.
Yes. Actually, there's studies on arthritis. That's one of the things that's very widely accepted by all insurances and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Some of the biggest studies on acupuncture have been done on arthritis. Mm-hmm. So pain is a very popular thing that people go to acupuncturists for, and even medical doctors are sending their patients to us because, the human body is complex. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, drugs are good for emergencies and people are in a crisis, they need a little extra help. Mm-hmm. But as a long-term solution, it's not always the best. Well, it's not the best solution, actually. Right. Because, you weren't born to... your pain or your problem is not a lack of some drug in your body. It's actually your body's not working the way that it was supposed to. Okay. It's been overstressed, it's not adapting the way that it should. Okay.
Mechanically speaking, now, as you go on talking, things are, occur in my brain. Now, do you have different size needles for different problems?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And some people, you know, they like it to be a little gentler and easier.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to do. I think most Americans just want to relax. So you can use really thin ones, shorter ones, and then for certain body parts you might need something a little bit longer. So
what does the needle do when you insert it? What does it do? Tell me mechanically, what does it actually do? Are there little people inside the needle to push your muscles aside or whatever? What do they do?
There's little trolls that live inside you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, what?
No,
what
you
do
know
they
what?
do?
If you took a needle and you put it into a dead body, what do you think would happen?
I don't think the person come back to life.
Nothing would happen, right?
Right.
Nothing. So actually the needles are just a tool. They're just a tool used to stimulate, to unblock, to remove interference, to release tension at certain spots. I look for very specific points along the body where there might be accumulations of stress or tension, or things aren't adapting the way that they should, and that's where I'll put the needle.
Now, how does that affect this magnetic field that you're talking about? Does it, when you put the needle in, then
your body,
Right.
your body knows exactly what to do. So it will send blood, energy, nutrients. It'll clear up. It'll bring the lymphatic system. It'll change whatever it needs to change. It actually knows exactly what to do. And so this is just helping to stimulate the body to, and the channels go to all different parts, technically speaking, the practical part of it.
Yeah, right.
So you can put a needle in the arm, say, and it could be helping your intestines or your leg. It could be working on your head or your eyes. There's
the same needle you can put in different parts of your body. I'm just talking.
one needle per point. So, you use sterile needles and
Yeah, I mean the same type of needle. You can use it in any part of your body.
yeah.
A body, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, how does it affect the magnetic system of the body? The needle goes in and the magnetic system goes around. 'Cause
Then your body
physiologically-
responds.
Yeah.
Your body responds to what's happening there. So the needle goes in, and then your brain will pick up on the fact that there's a needle there. There's
And what does your
something
brain
stimulating
do?
a specific point along a channel there,
Yeah.
and then it will send whatever needs to be done. If it needs to move energy and send things away to disperse it, then it'll do that. If it needs to bring more energy there, more life there, then it'll do that. That's why my job is actually very easy, because all I'm doing is finding points that need just to be balanced or stimulated. And I'll do that, and then the body does all the work. So that's why I was saying, if you put a needle in a dead body, nothing will happen, of course.
Right.
But if you put it in a live body, then that life force, that chi, if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
that knows exactly what to do. It knows how to have the body functioning again. It will start adapting to the stresses better, and then things will heal. So the healing comes because the body starts to function better. It releases that stress and tension. It removes interference. The body does all the work because you were designed to be healthy. So God made you to be healthy. So that's what happens.
So how does it affect the nutrients in your body? Suppose you take vitamins or medications or whatever. How does the acupuncture, does it work around it? How does it conflict or not conflict with what's in your body?
Yeah. I'll tell you a story. I had a patient who came in. She was maybe like in her 70s, and she lived around the block from the office. She came in, she had low back pain, and that's what she wanted help with, okay? So I started helping her with her low back pain, but, like I said, your body knows exactly what to do, and it even knows how to prioritize things and when to do it. So I was doing, you can't just treat a problem. You actually have to address the whole person because everything's connected and everything's related. So I'm looking for just basically throughout the body, where are the stresses, where are the tensions, where are things not healing and working the way that they should.
Now, she says she had back pain. So how do you know where to start? Do you experiment, or you say, well, maybe it's here or maybe it's there or whatever? What is your approach? How do you do that?
Well, I'll get a full health history, obviously.
Oh, okay.
And then also, in talking to the person that day, they'll tell me what they're experiencing, what they're feeling, where they're feeling things, how bad it feels, things like that. And then based on, everything that I've learned and experienced, I'll know where to put the points in. So this woman, she was coming in for back pain, and then after about a month, she said to me, Karen, my back pain's feeling better, but even more than that, I went to my medical doctor, and it's so weird because I've been taking high blood pressure medication for so long, and I had to come off of it because my blood pressure's too low now. So her body naturally, because it was working better, removing those stress, removing the interferences to how it works, just in healing the back, it also started healing the cardiovascular system. And she didn't need that high blood pressure medication anymore. And the awesome part is, like I said, my job's so easy. The body knows exactly what to do. So I didn't even really have to focus on that. What I was focusing on is just making sure that everything is free and clear, that everything can work the way that it's supposed to, that flow of life, that life energy that goes everywhere is able to do that. Mm-hmm. And, we figure it out by talking, and I can, do palpation if I need to, and mm-hmm. whatever in that moment comes up.
Are you saying that with acupuncture you can rid yourself of the medications that you take?
Yes.
And the body can...
And I can't take people off of medication.
Yeah, I understand.
But
what
with
you're saying.
With a medical doctor, absolutely, you can talk to your medical doctor and say, here's my plan, and I want to wean off of it. But a lot of times it just starts happening naturally because your body, it wants to work the way that it was designed. So if as it starts doing that, then you won't need that medication anymore. It's just a natural process.
Mm-hmm. So why doesn't the person come to you first? Does the person come to you first if they have back pain? I don't think of going to you having acupuncture. I think of going to Rite Aid or whatever, or getting some a tube of some sort. Mm-hmm. So what are you saying? People don't know about the values of what you do?
Yeah, I think people are learning more and more now about how there's so much out there available to them that is natural. It works with the body instead of trying to force things or chemically manipulate it. It's getting very, very popular here in the United States, so it's really awesome. And you can go and have acupuncture for anything. So it can be for pain, it can be for literally any disease. I mean, I get people for fertility and reproductive issues. I have cancer patients. I have arthritis and different aches and pains.
What about for memories? People have
oh my gosh, people talk to me about that all the time.
So
they say, my memory.
Yeah, my wife tells me, my memory isn't the same as it used to be. I say, well, you're a lot older than what you used to be. So what does acupuncture do for memory? How do you stimulate that?
Have you ever noticed that if you are stressed, you tend to not remember things as well, or you just can't focus as well, so likewise, as you start to balance everything and those cortisol levels drop, then your brain can get better oxygenation and circulation going to it, and then you'll be more focused, you can concentrate better. It's pretty much the same for every disease. If there's a disease, that means something caused it. We have to figure out what's blocking the body from being able to work the way that it's meant to, clear up that blockage. Could be any body part. And then when you do that, then things start working again. So, when you're 2 years old, maybe not 2, but when you're 12 years old, no one says, oh, I have a memory problem. Why is that?
They don't have the problems of just everyday living that an older person has.
Right.
Don't have to think about all the things that they...
Yeah, the stresses are lower, right? They have so much less on their plate. Right. I have a 10-year-old, so I just see her. She's just...
Right.
She's so free.
Now that you mentioned that, what about people who genetically, through intergenerational processes or whatever, inherit the diseases or the things that their grandparents or great-grandparents, uncles had? Which don't seem to do. Well, it could be diabetes. It could be the high blood pressure, whatever. So this thing is familial. So how does a body, how do you distinguish it that this is only, your body's working perfectly, don't worry about what your ancestors had. I'll fix you up now.
There's something that we say, which is that if you weren't born with it, then you can heal from it. So what that means is, yes, of course, sometimes there's patterns that go on in families.
Right.
But babies aren't born with diabetes.
Right.
Right, or they're not born with congenital heart failure or anything like that. So so it usually develops as the stresses build and they're not adapting. Things start to work worse and worse and worse, and then now everything tends to break down. Right. So at the end of the day, we want to have more buildup than breakdown. And if you're not born with it, so all those things you're not born with, unless you have something like Down syndrome or something like that.
Right.
that's like something different.
Right.
But most of the things that people tend to develop over time, you can work with it and it can heal. And I've seen pretty much all these things heal. So
you're saying the stresses are the things that get to you, and if you can alleviate the stresses, which you do through acupuncture, then you can heal somebody and they can live a normal life.
Right, and the healing comes from within you. It's so awesome. And yeah, and you want to know something? It's like you can't really get rid of all the stresses in your life. I mean,
no, of course
that sounds crazy.
No, you have to have stress to live, because you have to be able to react to what's going on around you.
Exactly. So it's not about just getting rid of all that stuff, even though you can start to cultivate a deeper feeling of peace within yourself and you're just more relaxed when things happen. You can do that. But also it's just, taking each day and checking in with yourself and making sure that at the end of the day, things aren't breaking down, that you're managing the stress, you're adapting to it, that you're processing everything properly. And most of the time, we need help from someone. So, like, even for myself, I know all this and I can talk about it and I can help so many people. But I myself get care. I get my husband, helps me with chiropractic care, and I get acupuncture as well. I meditate and do yoga and pray, and I make sure that I'm doing as much as I can to make sure at the end of the day, my body is, building up and getting better with time, rather than letting all those stresses build and build and build, and then one day some sort of crisis hits. So,
we were talking earlier before you came on the program about people nowadays with Lyme disease, which seems to be a very stressful thing that people can't get rid of or can't cope with. And there's so many different people saying, well, do this, do that, and so many people say, don't do this and don't do that. Do you have people coming to you with Lyme disease, and can you, or is that?
It's very
I
interesting.
think that's a tough question.
I think it's just very interesting that you asked me that question because a few years ago, well, my daughter is 10 now. When she was 7, she was bit by a tick, and we weren't 100% sure at first because she had the rash, but then a few weeks later, she started having all these symptoms. So she's 7 years old. So she was having hip pain and she couldn't eat and headaches and all these things. Later, she developed like a Bell's palsy on one side of her face. And let me tell you, that was one of the hardest things. It was very stressful and we weren't sure.
Did you recognize what it was? Did you say, in your mind, you said, she's got Lyme disease?
Well, at first we saw the rash and we thought, well, we don't know if it is or not.
Right.
But then when all those symptoms developed, we knew that it was. So we weren't sure, should we go for antibiotics or not?
Okay.
Because in my experience, and we have so many people who come to us with history of Lyme disease that never healed properly. Right. They took the antibiotics and they just never fully recovered.
Right.
So we didn't want that for our daughter, and we, it's a long story, but we just went completely natural, made sure her body was adapting to the stresses, and within...
What do you mean, body was adapting to the stresses? What do you mean?
The body, so making sure that anything that is blocking her body's ability to get rid of that disease process, her immune system, making sure she has proper nutrients and that she's assimilating everything the way that she should, that the stress from that disease is being handled by the body, which has the most amazing wisdom and knows exactly what to do and how to get rid of it. So we made sure that it was doing that. Right. And within 1 month, she was completely healed.
Really?
So.
Now, did you actually, when you say you knew what to do and everything, did that have to do with acupuncture or your philosophy or your psychology? I mean,
well, it definitely started with that commitment and also the mindset. And we were talking to her and helping lead her through it. And then actually, in this case, the only thing she would accept, she wouldn't take vitamins or nutrients or anything. She wouldn't get acupuncture. She was getting adjusted.
So you resisted it, or you didn't want to give it to her?
She wouldn't. She was resisting.
Okay.
She was suffering really bad. So she wouldn't take any of that stuff, but she was getting adjusted. So she was working with her spine and nerves with my husband, and we were doing a lot of prayer as well. And within 1 month, she was completely healed. So I say thank you, God.
So acupuncture, along with supplemental things like prayer and all of this, really was a cure.
Yeah.
For anything. So is acupuncture a cure for everything?
It can be. It can definitely be a tool. And there's a lot of tools out there, and acupuncture is just one of the, it's an amazing one that's been used for thousands of years that we know works. But you know what, if someone is not apt to go towards that, then there's lots of different ways to accomplish that goal. The bottom line is your body has the wisdom, it knows what to do, and we just want to make sure it's being expressed. So if you like acupuncture, then it's a great way to do it. But if you don't, then there are many other ways to make sure that that's happening.
Funny you should mention that. We had your husband on the program last month, and he's in chiropractic,
Yes.
right? So when somebody comes to you, you say, you should see my husband, he's a chiropractor. I can't help you. How do you relate that? We don't have too much time left, so you have to give me a quick answer. You send it to him, he sends his people to you. My wife can help you, but I can't.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, you know what? When you're in the healing profession, you have to stay humble.
Okay.
So the real goal is to help the person. And if
Okay.
I feel like the best help will come from my husband, or to come from from me or from someone else, whatever it's going to take.
Right.
I mean, that's the most important thing, is that they accomplish that, because that's a good life when you're healthy.
But now you made an admission that perhaps acupuncture isn't a 100% goal for everybody.
Well, it's not just that. It can work for everybody, yes, and it has helped so many. It's more that the person might not like it, or they're a little antsy. They don't like to, because you do lay there for about 15, 20 minutes. Some people are a little apprehensive about needles, even though they're very thin and gentle. So from a practical point of view, they might choose a different way.
Okay. Well, Karen, we're coming towards the end of our program. We could go on and talk for the rest of the afternoon and evening about this. Would you like to give a number or website or whatever that people who are interested in acupuncture can ask you some more questions?
For sure. Yeah. We are at Thrive Holistic Wellness, and we're in White Plains, and the phone number is 914-684-1800.
You've told us a lot about acupuncture today, and as I say, last month your husband told us a lot about chiropractic. And the two of you, I think, maybe can save the world out there. I'd just like to remind our viewers that Rockland Psychiatric Center is an agency of the New York State Office of Mental Health. It has community-based service locations here in Westchester County. Inpatient services are located in Rockland County in the town of Orangeburg. To you, good day and good health. And perhaps, Karen, you'll make it a duo the next time you're on our program, and you and your husband can go at it together.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.